Hey, Clam, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana
What?
Louisiana
What?
Louisiana All American
Sports Show.
Louisiana
What?
All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American
Where?
Sports Show. Louisiana.
Yeah.
Louisiana. If
Sports you want to talk about?
they listen to the
Where?
show that's
Coming out the South.
It's Derrick
Who?
Hatfield and Coach
Barry Days, man.
They're gonna sit you down
What?
and tell you
All about the game. Huh? What? Where? FM. That's the station. Where? In the nation.
Without
Hesitation. Get with this.
Get your pop.
Yeah. Bet not miss. What?
Louisiana All American.
Sports Show. What? Where?
American.
Sports Show.
Louisiana All American. Sports Show. Louisiana.
I'm just so fresh, so clean. Yeah, go get it all, Crooked. Even get Carlos out there jamming and dabbing the intro. Woo, I'm ready to roll, baby. It's Saturday. It's LSU Bama. It's Southern Texas Southern. Ooh, I'm ready to roll. It is Saturday. It's showtime. I haven't been this fired up in a while. Let's go. Good morning. It's Saturday, November the 5th, 2016, and you are tuned in for the 45th edition in the year 2016 of the Louisiana All American Sports Show. This is Eric Hatfield.
And I'm Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker P.
And I'm Coach Perry Daniel.
And hey, as you can tell, we have a high-energy Louisiana All-American Sports Show. We started... headphones. All right, we started off last night. We brought you the Louisiana All-American Sports Game of the Week. It took us out to South Downs off of Perkins Road at Olympia Stadium. It was Catholic High Senior Night, and the McKinley Panthers closed out their regular season against their District 5-5A rivals, the Catholic High Bears, the number 2 team in the state, the defending Division I select champions. You get the idea. It was going to be a tall task, and look, the final score was as we expected. McKinley fell 46-9, and we are going to have our Louisiana All-American Sports co-players of the week, quarterback Zach Crawford and defensive back Patrick Mensah, calling in about 3 minutes. But I wanted to make some reflections about that game, notwithstanding the score. I did some research before the game, and let me tell you something. A 4-6 record and a 2-3 record in district might look very unassuming, very mediocre, but I said at the top of last night's broadcast, you have to consider where you came from to evaluate where you are. And I think Ken Hilton has taken a big step that might appear not that big to the untrained eye, but this was the best regular season record that the McKinley Panthers finished with in, I want to say, since 2011 or 2010. It was
like
several years.
Yeah.
Best district record in 5-5A ever. Best district record overall, because they used to be in District 4A or 6-5A. Anyway, in their old district, this is the best record that they've had since 2010. So look, they've accomplished a lot. They're going to the postseason, the third season, first time in 3 years. They made it to the playoffs. I think that McKinley Panthers, this is pretty much by and large the same core that Coach Signator only won like 2 games or 3 games with last year. So he's taken these same kids and gotten the most out of them. Put in a new system, a new mindset, and I've seen it, and I think there are really bright times ahead at McKinley High School. They're going to become a football school as well as a basketball school, and probably in a few years, a lot like you saw with the Chicago Cubs, where they came up, Epstein got there, got them the World Series in 5 years. Watch out at McKinley.
Hey, man, I second that, because I think with McKinley, you have to take in consideration, me and Coach talked about this before the game, even though the score was 46-9, I thought actually that was pretty good, being that Catholic High is the second rated team in the state. It could have been, the defense actually played not that bad. They had a couple of sacks.
They had a lot of sacks.
Yeah, they had an interception in the end zone, and so McKinley's defense didn't play the best. The secondary had a lot of open receivers, but at the end of the day, they didn't play as bad. Cali could have beat them worse than that, I thought.
And I've seen dynamics of that game. Let me tell you, McKinley's special teams, and you all know, if you listen to the show, you know I'm biased. I'm a kicker and semi-pro, but it's true, though. It's come a long way. Right. Their kicker, Anthony Raby, has put distance. They kicked a field goal last night, a 30-some-odd-yard field goal. First time I've seen that ever at McKinley.
And they didn't have their starting quarterback, and Brian Lee wasn't there. they came out and ran the Wildcat with Lil John Lewis, not Levi Lewis. I kept saying Levi Lewis last night.
LLs.
Reminded me of that. But Lil John Lewis actually was in the Wildcat most of the night, and they tried different things. I think that may help them going forward. You play the number 2 team, so next week in the playoffs, they're not going to be the number 2 team.
Correct.
And so you should have a little bit more motivation. I thought the defense did excellent. But Lawrence Johnson seemed to come up a little hobbled at the end of the game. Let's hope that he's okay. And that seems like that's our callers, our co-players of the game. Let's see.
Let's pick it up. So while Joker's, I'm pretty sure those are our co-players of the game, and they played very well, and I won't steal the kids' thunder. Let them tell you in their own words what was going on. So, there was a quarterback, Zach Crawford, was one of the reasons why McKinley secondary, even when they had good, tight coverage, couldn't get a whole heck of a lot going. Okay, those are the kids?
Yeah.
Okay, and, they couldn't get a lot going, and the passes had perfect touch on it, and then the secondary, Traylon Nelson, who, this was his first extensive play quarterback, and defensive back, cornerback, Patrick Mensah, who had the assignment of taking on a much bigger receiver, and Josh Quiet, his football, it's funny, Mensah is the test they use to assess genius IQ, and his football IQ was genius last night. It's like he was in the places 2 seconds before the ball was there, but hey, as I often say, why tell you when I can show you, we have on the line two fine student athletes from Catholic High School, the 10-0 Catholic High, District 5-5A champions, outright unopposed, defending champions. On the line, we have quarterback Zach Crawford, and we have defensive back Patrick Mensah on the line. Gentlemen, I know you guys, Coach WHYR told me you guys, work really hard during the week, and it gives you your Saturdays off, so I would like to thank you guys very, very much for joining us this morning. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Excited after last night's win. Ready to move on to next week. Get some more work in.
Patrick?
Yeah, we doing good.
That's fantastic.
That's what's up, man.
I really appreciate it, guys.
We had to give you guys an applause and bring you in, even though we're kind of a little biased to McKinley. But, man, absolute fabulous job both of you guys did last night, especially on the offensive end. I thought the quarterback, he was just, man, he was almost like a surgeon. He was slicing and dicing. And
It was. No, and I looked. You know when guys, one thing Coach WHYR said, you guys have taken a business-like approach to each game, and I've often said players are reflective of their coaches. And I could tell last night, because I said, Zach, you were putting the ball right where it had to be. And you know how guys know when they did a good job, and that little smile comes across, but they're trying not to get too full of themselves. He was not. I don't even think he was smiling and nodding. Yeah, I did that. Zach, I guess we'll start with you. Talk about your game. Talk about your precision last night and the execution, because you looked really, really, really sharp at times, most of the game.
Oh, thank you. Well, we had a great week of practice going in. I thought we had a great game plan. Coach Bertita, Coach WHYR designed some really good plays, and we definitely had some help from the receivers, the running backs, the tight ends.
yes.
And O-line gave me plenty of time to throw. So with those guys, they really let me do what I could do.
And Patrick, you were Johnny on the spot. One thing that stood out to me is that the score can be misleading, but that score was 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. McKinley had some momentum that they kind of tripped over themselves at times.
Patrick,
but that was
what was his last name? Was it Peterson?
It's Patrick Mensah, man.
Oh,
but we might be calling
Patrick Peterson.
we might be calling defensive back for the Cardinals Patrick Mensah in about 10 years at that rate. But look, you were like I said, you were in places before it seemed like you were reading what the offense was doing. I'm tripping over my words here, but it seems like you were a step ahead, maybe 2 steps ahead of your opponent, and you had a bigger receiver to cover. Could you talk about that, please?
Yes, sir. Well, shout out to my coach. We getting the film session every day at school, so I was just studying the QB, and they like to overthrow the ball a lot. So I was just sitting there looking at the QB, reading him, and the receiver. I mean, if the size really don't matter to me. So I was just going out there and playing my game, being focused and focusing on him, because I knew they were going to try to target him a lot tonight.
And you mentioned that the size is no big, size isn't a thing. And I made this remark several times throughout the broadcast last night. It seemed like you guys seem really strong across the board. I mean, it just seems like strength was never an issue for anyone on that team at all. You must have some kind of strength and conditioning program, because it just seemed like all the kids, no matter what their size, they were all had a lot of strength.
Yeah, that's our Coach Harrison. He get us right every day, every week. We lift Sundays. We lift on Sundays and Tuesdays. We stay conditioned. So that's props to him. Yeah, and in the summer we had a
pretty intensive program. Every day out there working hard, getting better, getting bigger, faster, and stronger. So I think Coach Harrison, Coach Davis also in our strength program really helped us out with that.
Well, I can definitely tell because the tight end you got, Gronkowski's little brother, him,
Chris Cameron.
Chris Cameron. Man, you guys seem to always, when you was in 3rd and 20 or 3rd and even 30, third in the big plays, and I thought that's where you guys really executed. Talk about that for me.
Yeah, well, we had we had a lot of people step up last night in clutch situations that really helped us out. And again, that aspect of working hard during practice really carried over. I think we had a great week of practice, and we practiced those 3rd and long situations, so we were well prepared for those. So when it came to when it really counted, we were able to convert.
Coach, you got anything you want to say?
Absolutely. Hey, man, congratulations on your win last night. Congratulations on a 10-0 regular season. I take it that Cameron is the son of former LSU offensive coordinator Cam Cameron, and last night we mentioned on the broadcast of the Miles connection, how your fullback is the son of former LSU coach Les Miles. Talk about some of your former teammates that you see having success on the college level and what that means to you all as far as an inspiration aspect.
Yeah, well, we see guys like Darius Guy so successful at LSU, and that just shows us how well prepared he was by our coaching staff. So seeing all these guys that are so successful at the new level, it shows us that all we really need to do is trust what our coaches are telling us, and they can lead us to be successful just like those guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. So who do you anticipate being the biggest challenge on your road back to New Orleans and defend the Catholic High State Championship in Division I last year?
Well, we got a lot of tough opponents in our bracket. Most of the teams in there are really good and definitely would give us a challenge. But, we're going to work hard and we're going to prepare for anybody that they line up in front of us.
Yeah, we just going to take it one game at a time.
And
I love that.
And Coach WHYR, and I know I'm beating this dead horse, but it was something, like I said, the coach said that at the top at the pregame interview, business-like approach, and then talking to you two young men and just everything I see, it seems like you guys treat it as a business. That is going to take you guys. First of all, it's going to lead to success in the field, whether you repeat as champions or not, and it's going to help you guys considerably. But also, it's going to be, and I'm sure you know this, it's going to be a compass to take you guys through life for approaching challenging situations, or even situations that might not seem so challenging in a business-like approach, and it'll help you guys come out on top every time when you're taking on challenges in the real world. So I can see that, and kudos to Coach WHYR for instilling that in you. It reflects in both of your comments on this show and also in what we saw in the stadium on the field last night. Joker, did you have other questions for the gentleman?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Patrick, did he play any other sports, and is cornerback his primary position that he wants to play in the future?
Yes, sir. I also play soccer and I run track. And, yeah, defense is my preferred position, but I also play other spots on the field. And,
no, I'm not going to steal Joker's question. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll start with Zach. First of all, do you have a favorite player in football, and is there somebody perhaps whose game you try to model yourself after?
Well, I would definitely have to say Drew Brees. Not a very big guy, not the most, athletic or freakishly talented guy, but he's a super hard worker, super accurate, and he's also a fantastic leader, and I strive to be all those things, hopefully. So I watch film of him. I try to just see how he leads his team, how he goes about. I try to imitate that because I definitely think that guy's figured it out.
Yeah, he's all right. And Patrick,
yeah, he's okay. I think
he's had a little success. And Patrick, how about you? Same thing. Do you have a favorite player, and is there a guy that you try to model your game after?
Yes, sir. I try to model my game after Gerard Peppers from from Michigan.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just see how he goes on the field, and he plays multiple different positions, but each position he plays, he tries to make a play. So that's what I try to do for my team.
That's fascinating. That's 2 weeks.
All right.
Go ahead, Coach.
So speaking of that, we thank you all for joining us on Louisiana All American Sports. We're going to get in one or two more questions, and then we'll move the agenda. But we always ask about college aspirations and who's showing interest in you all from a college standpoint. Can you speak to that? Let's start with Zach.
Well, I really haven't had any interest so far, but I was just thinking I would let whatever happen. Right now I'm focused on Catholic High, but, the future's in the future, so if I get an opportunity, that's exciting, but right now I'm focused on the first round of the playoffs.
So Zach, where would you ideally like to play?
Well, I'm actually going through the process of applying to West Point up in New York, the military academy. That was something I was interested in, serving my country. And I also think it would be an amazing opportunity to also play football up there while I'm up there. So that would definitely be an awesome opportunity for me. I would love that.
Patrick?
Same as Zach. I'm just looking forward to finishing this season off how we set our goals for the summer. But if the opportunity shows, then I would love to play college football.
Guys, good luck on the rest of your season. Let's hope that it ends in the Superdome as it did last year, with one exception. If you happen to meet McKinley again, know that we'll be rooting for the Panthers as normal. But good luck for your season. We greatly appreciate you joining us today on Louisiana All American Sports.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, and thank you.
Good luck
And
to
give
you
your best to Coach Weiner. Appreciate it. Weiner, appreciate it. Those were the Louisiana All American Sports co-players of the week: cornerback Patrick Mensah and quarterback. I always get tongue-tied with that. Quarterback Zach Crawford of the Catholic High Bears.
Yeah, well, it almost sounded like me with the Levi Lewis and Lil John Lewis last night. But, hey.
Ooh, c'est bon.
Yeah, Coach.
Look, we had a lot of action going on in the high school area last night. A lot of really big games, and a lot of games that are going to decide position. It's always real in that final week of the regular season. Of course, Baton Rouge has 3 of the state's I'm going to say premier districts. I'm just going to go out and say it. By the way, they happen to be featured Louisiana All American Sports districts, by the way. But we're getting that on that old worldwide, with the old interweb. We're getting that cranked up right now. And here we go. In the state of Louisiana, in the final week of the regular season, the final Friday night under the lights, we had Albany fell to a meet 38-7 last night. Ascension Christian defeated East Iberville 35-20. Ascension Episcopal over Central Catholic 42-41 in a bit of a nail biter. Of course, Catholic defeated McKinley 46-9. We had Bruley over Baker 34-14 in that District 6 3A matchup. Keep one eye on Baker. They have a pulse. I mean, 34-14 again. You got to know where they came from to know where they are. That's not as bad as I would have expected a year or two ago. Capitol High put a hurting on Mentorship Academy, 36-6. So good job over there from that downtown school trying to pick it up. Also, we had Dunham over Episcopal, 42-14. East Ascension busted out the whooping stick on Broadmoor, 34-6. I don't have any stats on Keenan Dunn, but I'm guessing he probably contributed quite a bit to that effort. Also, rolling on down the line in state scores, we had Lafayette Christian 46-17 over Vermilion Catholic. Live Oak 41, Central 2. That District 4-5A is weird.
Wow.
There's no transitive properties in high school football. You can't predict it. Madison Prep 71, Christian Life Academy 27. Do not adjust your sets. Madison Prep 10-0. Madison Prep 71, Christian Life Academy 27. Even we had our first semi-pro football practice this year. We were talking about Madison Prep at practice this morning. That's how much of an impression they're making. They come a long way, baby. Like
short amount of time.
Notre Dame 31, New Iberia Catholic 14. Park Parkview Baptist 42, Port Allen 24. So that District 6-3A is real. And Coach Mitchell, his team is going through the hard knocks, but I have confidence in those guys. Point Capee Catholic 60, Falls River Academy 47 in a defensive stalemate over there. Scotlandville in a dramatic game. They were trailing 28 to, what was it, 14? In the fourth quarter. They tied it up at 28. Scotlandville 34, Denham Springs 28 last night. The Scotlandville Hornets, boy, they are going to be something to watch. That Levi Lewis is just a special athlete. I cannot say that enough. So Scotlandville finishes undefeated, and they will. Hey, we're going to keep our eyes on them. I hope they go to this. I shouldn't be rooting, but I hope they go to the Superdome. Southern Lab.
Hey, Eric.
Yes, sir.
Eric, it's important to mention too that in the power rankings, Scotlandville is actually ranked higher than Catholic High. Scotlandville is the number 2 ranked team in the only rankings that matter. Mm-hmm. John Curtis is number 1. Scotlandville is number 2. Catholic is number 3.
That makes complete sense the way they do the power rankings, because Scotlandville has played a really tough schedule. I mean, really tough. So I believe it. And, you know, John Curtis, what you gonna do? But so hey, we'll keep our eyes on those Hornets. Southern Lab 36, Kentwood 6. Southern Lab, that is by my count at least the 3rd year in a row they've taken home that district title. Sanamaw 47, Dutchtown 7. I know I got a lot of New Orleans listeners that listen. This is a huge game in NOLA. St. Aug did beat Rummel 20-7. I know we got some folks tuned in on that contest. Moving on down the line, St. Thomas More 49, Northside 6. We had U High 35, Donaldsonville 8. Oh, how the mighty have fallen down at Donaldsonville. Varnado 26, Houma Christian 0. West Feliciana put a hurting on Glen Oaks 42-0. My heart goes out to that school. That's another proud school that's in a rebuilding phase. White Castle 45, St. John 6, and I believe I got my hands on all the whack-a-moles of all the scores that matter to our listeners in the high school area. I hope I didn't miss one. But, Joker?
Hey, man, you mentioned, I heard you say New Iberia.
I did.
Did you say New Iberia?
I think I said Iberia Catholic, but what about him?
Oh, well, I just was thinking about something in New Iberia. I'm kind of upset with New Iberia right now, especially the things that has occurred in New Iberia. You know, something me and Coach talked about earlier today, but I guess before we go into the song, how do you want to proceed with this, Coach?
Hey, man, yeah, let's play our break, our interlude. It's only...
Oh, crap. Coach, I dropped the ball. I'm sorry. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead. My bad.
What
Go
are you
ahead.
saying now?
Yeah, let's go to our interlude and play that. It's only a couple of minutes long, and then out of that, we will go into the Iberia Parish story.
10-4.
All right.
I want you guys to check this out.
Now I can give it to Joker. Here we go.
This is our song of the day, and it's called Hold the Line. I want you guys to check this out.
That's pretty straightforward if you were listening to the words there.
Yeah, it's pretty much Hold the Line. I like the way that he expressed himself in that.
Holding the line, and no, we're not here to compromise. We're not here to, this comes with a cost, what we do. So let's jump into Sheriff Lewis Ackal and the Iberia Parish verdict up there. This sheriff was on trial for civil rights violations of folks in Iberia Parish. Several of his detectives testified against him, saying that they were encouraged to harass African Americans, to plant drugs, to be abusive.
That's right.
And he was found not guilty yesterday or this week. And it's just amazing. So if you can't convict this
Coach? Coach, are you there? Okay. Well, apparently we've lost Coach temporarily.
That's the powers that be, man.
Yeah, I know, man. Those Skype people are trying to keep the man down. I'm hoping we put Coach back up in a minute, but I think his point was if you can't put this guy away with his own people, law enforcement officers testifying against him, you have a system that is stacked heavily in favor of law enforcement officers who get brought up on criminal charges. I would assume is the point Perry was trying to make.
Right, and it goes directly to the people because actually at the end of the day, it's the people that's on the jury.
That's correct.
That found him not guilty, and those are the people that you blame, and that's basically the community.
What was the jury makeup? Because Iberia is a pretty. It's not one color or the other out there.
You can probably believe that if it was a jury of all African Americans, I don't see them, and they're the victims basically. So. I don't know the makeup of the jury, so I didn't know that, but I do know in Iberia, pretty much the makeup is more white there than it is black.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah, I know that, but it's just, to me, it just shows that, the people of the jury are the ones that found him not guilty, and it's almost like a slap in the face, like they know that he was wrong, but we're going to find him not guilty anyway. So that's the way it goes. It's nothing new.
I always this comes to mind. Looks like we're going to get Perry back in a minute. The call dropped. He went offline. He'll be back on. Look, I always butcher this Martin Luther King quote, but it's something about the arc of the arc of justice is long, or the arc of something is long, but it bends towards justice. Here's my point. It takes some time. It takes a while to get her going, but mission controller just calling on the phone. But yeah, this is, I don't know what to say, Joker. I'm kind of at a loss because I do believe very heavily, that you have a right to a jury of your peers, before they, take away your freedom and stuff like that. I think that the system works for a reason. But when you have a violation, go ahead, Coach. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying if we can't convict Louis Ackal based on the information that we received, now again, we weren't sitting up in court, we didn't review the evidence as though the jurors did, but based on the information that has been put forth, if we can't convict him of a civil rights violation, then what good is having a civil rights violation law? I haven't seen that law work as intended for anyone.
And the unfortunate thing, Perry, is that, the only place I've seen any success in convictions and civil rights violations is at the federal level, but something has to be so egregious to, and although I've read the statute, this one might fall in there, but it has to be so egregious just to warrant an investigation by the DOJ, let alone an indictment, and a conviction. Something is broken. And I kind of like you, I wasn't on the jury, and I was saying before you called back that everybody has a right to a trial by jury, but when the evidence piles up to the ceiling and you have members of the public, you have citizens who are victimized like this, it's not a victimless crime like, someone snorting coke or something like that, where we have two willing adults and we just said, no. This is where you have people who are being oppressed by the people that they pay to protect them. So I get really... I start to lose my composure and have to remind myself to bring my voice down and talk in a cool, even tone, because people have to understand me on the radio. I don't know the answer. We got to find an answer. This is unacceptable to me.
Well, one of the answers is immediately all those young men that have been convicted of drug possession and drug charges should be released out of the Iberia Parish prison. Mm-hmm. That's where we should start.
And DOJ should look at that.
The information that I'm getting now said that the trial was held in Shreveport in Caddo Parish, and not Iberia Parish. So they probably had to change of venue, probably because of the publicity in that town. But at the end of the day, I think it falls on the jurors, because they're, whatever the makeup was of the jury, they're the ones that found him not guilty. And so I think and the jury is what? The public. And so it's just a deeper issue. It's almost like we're not going to convict him. Same with these guys that went and held up the federal Bundy. Yeah. The guys that held up the federal building with the guns, they got found not guilty too here recently in a couple last week, I want to say. And so this is nothing new. We've seen this type of thing happen before. I think it goes to more of the core of America, and it goes to what we really stand for. When we know something is not right, it's almost like Donald Trump says all the things that he says about women, and women are come and defend him and say, oh, that's locker room talk. Some just just to go against what you're saying, just to be indifferent in a sense. And so, it just goes to what America is, the tension that we've had here in the summer, and what's going on now with the election. It's all, to me, comes together. And so that's my take on it. But, hey, that's Joker Pete.
Some people like to protect the abusers, I suppose.
Yes, indeed.
I think, and look, first of all, there's obviously a systemic problem. I sincerely hope that DOJ looks into this, because you're talking about drugs, and you're talking about a lot of things, a lot of tentacles that touch. Okay, it's Derrick Thomas calling in. I hope I get this right on the Skype.
Yeah. Hey, but we do have a great escape today. If we have one thing that can escape from a lot of the stuff that we're talking about in these social issues, it is sports, and that's what we are. We're a sports show, and we got the biggest game of the year, especially Baton Rouge. Now, it may not be in the country.
I'm hoping,
but we have the biggest game of the year today, LSU, Alabama. Nick Saban. Now, I'm getting ready to do my meditation. So I'm going to need everybody. I got my candle set up.
Hang on.
I don't know. I may have to go against Nick Saban today. So I'm trying to exercise these demons,
First of all, Coach, are you still there? Uh-oh. Okay, Derrick Thomas, are you there?
DT, is he there? Mission Control's there? Just me and you?
I see him, but...
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Derrick, I have made a colossal boo-boo with the Skype. I'm still in the learning process. Can you please three-way with Coach and bring him back? Because I think I've either muted him or I've done something I shouldn't have... Oh, wait, here we go. Shouldn't have done, but Joker, go ahead and continue with where you were.
Resume call right there.
Okay.
It's not letting me...
Resume call.
Resume.
See it down there in the back?
This?
Yeah. I called on hold.
So, Coach, are you still there?
Yeah, there he is.
Okay. Coach?
I'm here.
Okay, I think we got everybody together. I hope we got everybody together.
DT, you're there. Mission Control's there.
Okay, Coach, DT's trying to get in. Could you three-way him in? I don't know how to do it. I'm sorry. I can't figure this out. I don't want to hold up the show anymore. But look, we got a big...
Hey, it's a big game.
Big game here in Baton Rouge, and a big game on both sides of town, actually. Let's start off with the Bluff. Let's start off on the Bluff. As the Southern University Jaguars, let me tell you something, man. The Jags have been handling business. As they are, and the Jags are hosting Texas Southern. They are in a really good position right now. We're talking about a team that is undefeated in Southwestern Athletic Conference play. We're talking about a team that is playing good football. They're beating their in-conference opponents. We're talking about a team that has overcome a lot of adversity with on campus and not on campus, but with NCAA issues that have kind of held them down a little bit. We lost Coach. Stay with Coach. But at the same time, this is a big game, and Southern has found a way to keep things going and keep it rolling, really. So, look, we're going to go ahead and start talking about the Southern University Jaguars as we're going to go on the Bluff, as it's TSU coming on down to town today to face the Southern University Jaguars, 4 o'clock today.
Yes, indeed. And we got... Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. First of all, before we get on this Southern and TSU, we got to get an applause going, man. We had someone to break a record here last week, and we got to get that guy his props, especially when we get Coach. We got Coach on?
Coach,
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, Coach is here, man. We have something that was big that was done. We have something historic that happened on the Bluff, man, and we got to get this guy his just due. So we're going to give this guy an applause. We're going to go right in. He's a McKinley alumni, of course, and he did something historic. I want to say he broke Walter Payton's record, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, it wasn't Walter Payton.
Yeah.
It was another gentleman.
It was another gentleman. Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected. But we're going to first give him a little applause when this Windows 10 come in.
Man, don't get me started on Windows 10.
Hey, but let's talk a little bit while you guys are getting that together. Let's put this in perspective of what's going on the Bluff and at Southern University. For 2 years, this school, this team has not been able to have spring football practice due to NCAA violations or punitive actions by the NCAA, and there's a huge debate on whether or not that's warranted. But without spring football practice, Coach Odom and his staff are just doing a phenomenal job with this team. And you know, I guess it really begs the question how important spring practice really is.
Look, you know, I think, Coach, I mean, look, you're a football coach. We've all had exposure to sports, a lot of us football. Spring practice, I think, is pretty important as far as laying out your game plan, your foundation, getting to know your players to the best of your ability. It's an important tool. I think it could be that spring practice is overrated. That is certainly a possibility. It could be that, man, you know, Coach Odoms is just that good of a coach. He found the hurdle, you know, and in spite of the hurdle, he found a way to make it work and have success in Southwestern Athletic Conference play. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Coach Odom has had an albatross around his neck ever since he's gotten to Southern University back in 2013. Remember, after the whole Stump Mitchell fiasco, he came there, and by 2013, he has them in the Southwest, you know, he has them in the SWAC championship, you know, beating Jackson State. That was really an upset if you go back to the start of the season, what was expected. And we have all the stuff, all the I forget the name of the code, but the academic stuff and the changes in athletic directors and fiscal issues and all this stuff. And this team always remains competitive every single year. And here they are in spite of everything else. And they have they're right there at the top of the SWAC. They're right there at the top of the competitive Western Division. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Coach Odom's got that contract extension after 2013. He earned every nickel of it. And I'm going to tell you what, man. Coach Odom's, he keeps his eye on the prize because you know what Coach has to say. There is in the hotline. Coach?
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
And you could tell that he wears that on his sleeve because he doesn't play, and when his team plays, they are going to make you pay.
Right. Hey, playing with his money is like playing with his emotions, and he got his contract. And I just want to give it up to Artillery, man, the McKinley native.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, what a fantastic job. I'm pretty sure he's going to get a shot at the NFL. I asked Mayweather that last night, and we both agreed that, you know, what he has done being a walk-on. And from my understanding, his first year was an academic scholarship. And he worked his way and was able to get an athletic scholarship and a football scholarship. And to be able to break the SWAC all-time leading rushing record, that to me, that is huge. You know, after all the Hall of Famers that come through the SWAC.
Right. I mean, guys like, you know.
Someone that was unassuming, wasn't recruited in high school. So what an accomplishment for him. So big kudos to him.
And you know, his nickname ought to be Artillery. You know, Lenard's Artillery, because when he gets that, he's so explosive through the line. First of all, I think he's going to be in camp. And what happens once you get in the camp is on you. You got to make the most of it. But I do think he's going to be in an NFL camp. But you know, he busted a 60. You know, it was funny at the halftime of last week's game. They said, "Well, Lenard Artillery might not be breaking the record today. He's going to need 66 yards." And this is Southern's radio broadcast. All of a sudden, first series in the second half, boom, 62-yard run for a touchdown. The next time he touches the pill, 33 yards. Well, that went up in smoke very, very quickly. So I just congratulations. He's a nice kid, and I've gotten to watch him all 4 years at Southern. He's a 4-year starter. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Listen, folks, Jaguar Nation, it's going to be 4 o'clock at A.W. Mumford Stadium. It's Military Appreciation Day, so wear your Navy or your camouflage. That game, once again, will be on 106.5 FM. That's KQXL. Also, there will be video streaming available if you subscribe through GoJag Sports, but you'll be able to hear it on the radio. They do a great job. There's an older gentleman who's a coach, and I'm forgetting his name. And then, of course, they got the play-by-play guy. They do a very colorful presentation. I enjoy it every week. So either get out there to A.W. Mumford or tune in to hear these Jaguars. This is a different kind of Southern team. I've been saying this all year. I wish they had more of a killer instinct. That kind of unsettles me, especially when they play Grambling if they go farther.
Exactly, and that's the showdown that we're looking forward to. And Southern has been playing great, and of course Grambling has been playing great too. And so this is going to be one of the biggest Bayou Classics, I think, in a long time. You know, anticipated, and two teams coming in pretty much evenly matched in a sense. But we'll see, Coach. What'd you say?
The Magic City Classic played last week between Alabama State and Alabama A&M had over 66,000 folks there.
It was sweet.
I anticipate that the Superdome will sell out this year, which would mean 72,000 folks in the Superdome to watch this epic battle between Grambling and Southern this year. If things continue on the pace that they are, Southern still has some hurdles to get across. We still have Texas Southern today, Prairie View coming up. Grambling has some hurdles as well. You guys mentioned the 2010 McKinley High team. It was the last time that the McKinley program had a record similar to what they have now. Well, on that team, Leonard Tillery was a sophomore on that team and was the running back.
Wow.
The year before, his freshman football coach, in his idiocy, had him playing fullback instead of tailback.
Hey, Coach, you think we can get him? You think we can get that guy on the line?
Yeah, we got to roast that guy there. He got this man playing fullback.
But then Coach Signator was the head coach of the 2010 team.
Right. Oh, okay.
Coach Signator made me move him from fullback to tailback, and sure enough, the rest is history.
Hey, I'll say one thing. Coach Signator knows how to run the football. he knows anything. He knows how to run that ball.
He knows how to run that
Third
ball.
and 19,
Hey,
up the middle.
That's right. Well, congratulations once again, man. From Louisiana All American Sports, congratulations to Leonard Tillery, man. What an awesome job.
So look, let's go around the horn on this Texas Southern game, man. I mean, they're coming here.
Man, come on now. After all that sucking up I did with Southern, you think I'm going to go against them?
Oh, look, man. I'm first of all, this is a losable game for the Southern Jaguars, although they should win this game. I expect Southern to win. I'm picking Southern, but this is why it's losable. Texas Southern, first of all, if they were in the West, if they were in the Eastern Division, they'd be in first place. So they're not a bad team. They're just in a very tough division, and they've given Southern some fits in the past. But the thing that really concerns me about this Jaguar team, it seems like they play 60 minutes and happen to have more points at the end.
The team come back.
Yeah, they had chances to put their foot on the throat of their opponents, and they're not doing it. I think they're going to win, but they've got to start putting teams away. But I'm going with the Jaguars.
Of course, I'm going with Southern Jaguars to win this game. Last week showed me going on the road in that environment and not beating that team in a while and being able to come up with and the way that they did it with Tillery having a big day. And so I see the momentum of what Southern is doing. I like what Coach Odom is doing. Of course, SU all the way.
Coach?
So do we have Derrick Thomas on the line yet?
Yes,
Yes, Derrick Thomas, I think is on campus.
Yeah, go fire away, Derrick.
Sir. I'm on campus right now, tailgating, getting started.
So, Derrick, give us your 2 cents on the Southern game.
Southern's going to run away with it. Tillery's going to have another big game. Willie Quinn's going to score a couple touchdowns, maybe even run one back for a TD. That's what I see.
That's a lot of confidence.
Absolutely.
Coach?
I think the star of today will not necessarily be Leonard Tillery. I agree with Derrick. I think the star of the day is going to be Willie Quinn in the passing game of the Southern Jaguars. But Southern will come out victorious this evening.
And keep an eye on that wide receiver, Beard. I can't remember his first name, but he's been having some really big games the last few weeks. He might be the new favorite target out there at Southern.
Hey, we'll definitely see.
So, hey.
Hey, you want to know what I told you so? Or you want to get that out the way first? You want to get that out the way? What you want to do first?
Okay,
so we got a big one to talk about. So
you want to do I told you so first, Coach?
Other side of town.
All right, give me the keys. Give me the keys. And
On the other side of town, moving quickly, rolling swiftly.
in the hoopty ride.
yes, indeed, rolling
indeed.
swiftly in the hoopty ride out to the LSU campuses. They have Alabama coming on down to Tiger Stadium. The, ESPN Game Day is out there, and Lee Corso had one of his hats on. I'm sure it's probably that stupid elephant head.
You got your
whatever.
jersey on?
Yeah, man, I got my Fournette jersey on, my gamer. I am ready. LSU, Alabama. Can we get that win for the first time in 5 years? Will we win against Alabama for the first time in 5 years? I'll tell you what, I'm so fired up. I'm excited about Ed Orgeron and the energy he brings. And I say, can LSU win that game today?
And what do you think? No.
But you know what, though?
Really? You're not going with LSU?
Oh, man, look, but you know what? I've been wrong about our home teams lately, so maybe that's some good luck. But, Alabama's good.
I'm gonna say it with me.
Nick Saban, you're the best. Nick Saban, I'm sorry.
Hey, but I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to put it
What
up.
kind of chanting is that?
Oh, some show history. Joker picked against Alabama like a couple of times. I think either last year, year before, and at that third go round, man, he said he had to get the incense and the Buddhist meditation. He had to apologize to the football gods for going against Nick Saban. He hasn't gone against him since then.
I haven't gone against him since then, and I've been struggling all night back and forth. I've been rolling, and it's been feeling it all in my bones. And in a way, I want to pick LSU. That'll be my upset pick of the year. Man, I don't know. I know Nick Saban is going to come with 9 in the box. He's going to try to stop Fournette.
Absolutely.
He's going to try to force LSU to throw the ball, but I think we can throw the ball better than last year.
I agree.
I think with our previous quarterback, with Brian, I think that he was just so nervous in the pocket. He's just so jittery. He's like a deer in headlights. And so, but this guy we got now, man, he's like a cool customer.
Yeah, Danny
Is he from Cali?
No, he actually is from up north. It's pretty cool in Indiana this time of the year. He was at Purdue before.
He's a cool customer.
But Danny Etling makes those throws. He's not great, but he makes those throws that you expect a college quarterback to make. Those basic throws, he gets it done.
He's going to have to make those throws today. I think that if they employ Geis a little bit more, maybe with a little few little screen passes, or maybe try to get out the Fournette in space to see if he can bust a big play. Man, I don't know. Give me a few more minutes. I don't know who I'm picking yet.
So
Coach,
I know who I want to pick, and I have a few reasons why.
Go for it.
I'm going to pick LSU. I understand Coach Ogeron was on the staff before, but he was not running things. What coach in college football knows Lane Kiffin better than anyone else? Coach O. He knows Lane Kiffin. Tendency. Also, you saying Nick Saban may put 9 in the box? This is a different LSU offense than it is under Miles. Ogeron will run the ball. He also will call action plays. So you put those 9 in the box, trying to stop Fournette and his play action. We all know that Atlanta likes to go to that tight end. He beat USM for a long touchdown in the USM game. So I think LSU's defense is good enough to contain that true freshman quarterback. Don't let him get to the edges. Also, Alabama does not have a dominant running back. They have talent, but they don't have anyone like a Derrick Henry that's going to take over the game. Yes, they have Ridley on the outside, but if the LSU defensive line, led by Arden Key, can put pressure on Hurts, he won't have time to get the ball to Ridley. I'm picking LSU in a close game.
Woo! He said Hurts is going to get the hurting.
Sounded pretty convincing. Yeah.
That was some in-depth analysis, man.
Really
I got to step my game up, Coach.
I'm still thinking. Go ahead.
Hey, you know what? Derrick Thomas just convinced me. I'm
okay.
I'm going to say that LSU's going to pull this out as well. In an upset and a contract-securing win for Coach Ogeron.
This must be opposite day. Nick Saban,
man, you guys almost convinced me. Almost convinced me. You had me right there. I was going to lean and go with LSU. Everything that you guys are saying is right. What you're forgetting is, number one, this is Nick Saban. Number two, they are the number one team in the country. They may not be the team with Derrick Henry. They may not be the team with Mark Ingram, but they still are number one in the country. The way that they beat Ole Miss, the way that they come up at special times, the experience that they have. This being more of a feel-good game with LSU, I think, has a little bit of momentum, but can they make that big play in the crucial moments? Auburn, the game where he threw the ball, they had the clock management problem.
Oh yeah.
What game was that?
That was the Auburn game. That was what cost Miles his job.
Right, and even though they Edling did a great job in getting the ball out and he threw the ball where it needed to be, it's going to be a close game. But I just cannot pick against Nick Saban. I just can't do it. I got to go with Alabama. I got to.
I'll tell you what now. Look, last couple of times that I picked against the home team and Perry and others picked the home team in an upset, it worked out. I'm not going to upset that karma, so I'm not changing my pick. But look, we're going to play. We're going to look, and to paraphrase that Gatorade commercial, we're going to run the whole thing back right now as we go to our usual segment to see who hit those bullseyes in our usual segment. I told you so.
Check this out.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Boy, oh boy. I want Southern to win this game.
I know you want them to win, so what are you saying? Who are you picking?
I'm picking the Braves. But I'm hoping that Southern could...
No.
Picking Southern to win this game.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
I'm picking Southern. I'm going with the momentum. I think Southern has been on a roll, and
Southern.
Southern, my man.
Coach?
Hey, SU all the way, baby.
Okay, they Alcorn.
You got Alcorn, okay?
I'm not alone.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was sitting by myself, the only one with the tomahawk in my hand. I'm going to take. Look, in the football game, I'm going to take Wisconsin, but I definitely my spirits are with the intentions and the right to express themselves. Those Nebraska players, and I do wish them Godspeed.
I'm going to step out on a limb and choose Nebraska Cornhuskers. I'm going to.
For the week?
I got Nebraska. Right on.
All right.
I'm going to take Wisconsin here. I think that's a really good football team that beat LSU the first game of it. The next game is between Dallas. We're moving to the NFL now, Milton.
Okay.
This is between the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles.
I take the Cowboys.
Attack and the Dallas Cowboys.
And plus, Dak Prescott, of course, being a Louisiana native, I got to go with Dak. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott. Hey, the boys is on the roll, so Cowboys all the way. Dak and Zeke.
Coach, I know your dad's listening, so...
Very good point, Eric. My dad's a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, and I'm going to make him proud today and pick the Cowboys as well. Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints.
Seattle will be a little bit too much for the Saints right now.
My tickets to Sunday's game, so you know I don't expect the Saints to win this one. Through gritted teeth, I'm picking the Seahawks.
With the Saints. This week, as my Joker pick is going to be the upset pick. This is my pick of the week. Saints over Seattle Seahawks.
Upset the Saints.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope y'all are right.
Seattle offensive line is horrible. I'm with you guys. I'm going to pick the Saints here as well.
This must be opposite day. We know Halloween is on Monday because this...
Pretty good. Pretty good, Coach. Pretty good.
Yeah, Coach smoked it last week. I don't think he missed on any of them.
Yeah.
Woo! So
this is what I do. This is what I do.
So look, we have about 5.5 minutes left. That gives us plenty of time to talk about the men who get paid in the National Football League. Windows 10. There we go. So look, we got some NFL action coming up. Yes, of course, the New Orleans Saints. I don't want to get too excited yet, but they're playing better. There's no getting around that, man. I mean, the defense. A friend of mine made a comment. The defense is starting to look mediocre. And you know what? That's something to get excited about because we know they can score points. We know they can score 30, 40 points, but the problem is the defense hadn't been able to stop a running nose. They held up at some tough times, and they're down several cornerbacks. So I'm trying to hold in that optimism. I don't want to get too excited. The Saints, of course, go out to the West Coast to face the San Francisco 49ers with Chip Kelly and Colin Kaepernick and that West Coast offense and a lot of subtopics going on out there. I'll just say from a football football standpoint that Chip Kelly is the epitome of dysfunction junction, but he does have he has the best hope of salvaging his professional football coaching reputation under center. And oh, by the way, I stand behind Colin Kaepernick's right to express himself fully, and I'm sure he's going to see fit to do it on Sunday, and I'm behind him 100% because we live in a country where we all have a right to express ourselves. And frankly, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, he's bringing important topics to the table that are making people talk whether they want to or not. So I got on my sidebar. That being said, I'm picking the Saints. San Francisco's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, San Francisco has a lot of problems, and I think that team is not playing as hard for Colin Kaepernick as they should.
Or Fat Boy Chip Kelly either.
Or Chip Kelly. I don't know how he still has a job, how he had got that job so quick after
privilege.
Right. Privilege. And of course, so I'm going to definitely go with the Saints to win this game.
Is Derrick Thomas still with us?
Oh, Earth to Derrick. I think we've lost Derrick.
Earth to Derrick. Are you still there? Mission Control.
Coach, go.
I'm still here. I'm in not good because Derrick.
He's here. Go ahead, Derrick.
Go ahead, Derrick.
I'm at Memphis Stadium, getting ready to watch the Jags take the field in a couple hours against Texas Southern. So
Saints.
It's beautiful here. This is my first time in the Southern University press box, so I'm enjoying the view.
Saints that's awesome. And it's a real nice press box. Saints versus a lot of space. Saints versus 49ers. Who you got, D?
I got the Saints. 49ers have nothing. I know Kaepernick's doing his thing with the protest, but they don't have anybody on defense to stop Drew Brees. I'm actually starting the rookie Mike Thomas this game, so hopefully he catches a few touchdowns and gives me a win this weekend.
Coach.
All right, so I'm gonna make it unanimous. I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna say the Saints as well. Let's talk something that happened. It's 1908 really quick. I know we've only got a couple of minutes left.
And in a couple of minutes, who we got coming up next?
Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction on 96.9 FM WHYR LP Baton Rouge Community Radio. But yeah, look, we have something coming up that has not happened in 108 years, and that was the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. You know, my grandmother, Beulah Hatfield, beautiful woman, 98 years old, still walking and talking, dressed herself up nice, puts on a jewelry and a perfume. There are very few things that could happen on an annual basis that someone who's 98 years old, lived through the Depression, World War II, that has not seen. But my 98-year-old grandmother has never seen the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. My grandfather, if he was still alive today, would be 101 years old and never saw the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Well, it finally happened, and I'm sure Harry Carey is up there having a cold beer with that red stripe on it up there, either from, up there, looking down on the Cubs, because finally the Cubs won the World Series, and in the most dramatic of dramatic fashions. It was as good of a statement for the game of baseball as could have possibly been made.
Most definitely, and I just had an idea and I wanted to see the Cubs win, and of course they was down 3-1, and this is the third time we've seen a series 3-1, whether it was basketball with Oklahoma City Golden State coming back from 3-1 down to Oklahoma City, beating them, and then Golden State going up 3-1, and Cleveland coming back and beating them. And now we have the same thing again in baseball with the Cubs down 3-1. They was able to come back and win in a dramatic fashion in Game 7, extra innings.
On the road. And so, hey, kudos to those guys. I got to mess with Perry. The last time that happened in the World Series was 1985. It was in the state of Missouri, and I think it was the Kansas City Royals came back against some cross-state rival. Coach, Chicago.
Now, why would you bring that up?
Right, he took a shot.
Look, hey. Chicago fans, have your kumbaya moment. Celebrate your Cubs. Don't lose sight, though, that we've got to get Jason Van Dyke off of that police force there in Chicago. Laquan McDonald's death should not have occurred the way that it did. We want to see Van Dyke prosecuted.
That's right.
Have your moment, but don't lose focus on what's truly important.
Derrick, 15 seconds, brother. I think we've lost Derrick to the tailgating and the merriment over there.
I just want to give shouts out to my daughter, my mother, to all my friends, and thank you guys for listening and tuning in. Like us on Facebook, and my boy Byron over there, he's keeping it real at Ravens, ready for the game today.
Louisiana Eagles organized team activity started today, so shout out to those guys and to my wife and kids, Angela, Erica, Elizabeth. I love you.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
ADT, JNS, love you.
Have a good afternoon.
Hail to the king and lords of lords. May he protect us from the evil. Hail to the king, lords of lords. May he protect us